All right, dude. We got a couple of videos floating around as of the recording of this podcast in regards to like Rivian, the used market for Rivians and EVs, Teslas, and that kind of stuff. The Amazon conversation we had about 2 weeks ago, and there's this sentiment among the comments that we've seen for a long time now, where it's like bye bye dealerships. And people are they're so ready to say bye to dealerships. And you and I both can say we're probably not the biggest fans of every interaction we've had at a dealership, but it is a necessary evil of sorts. And I use the word evil because I think that's the sentiment that people are using when they're typing away at their comments. And I just wanted to see if you had any feedback, or more so for our, more educated car fanatics that listen to the podcast when it comes to looking at dealerships like that. Like they're ever going to go away completely and it's going to go all DDC, all direct to consumer for cars.
I think people don't realize that the manufacturer is linked already to the dealer. It's just their distribution arm. Mm-hmm. So let's say you cut out quote unquote dealers. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to set up dealerships that are just called Toyota manufacturing dealerships. They're going to charge you the same price, because if you think they're going to cut the middleman out and give the savings to you, they have to recoup all of the costs dumped into running the dealership, right? And if you think they're going to cut out the extra warranties and all the stuff that makes money, like, you're just not living in the real world. Manufacturers like Toyota or Ford or whoever don't cut out the middleman to save you, the consumer, money. It's to then realize the profits of the middleman. So, and by the way, they are going to be terrible at it because they've never done it, right? They've never had to service the consumer and the complaining and the whining. And by the way, they're not going to hear it. That's not how they work. They basically let's just use California. Let's say you own a manufacturing company. You have 10 distributors in California, up and down, north to south, and central and everywhere in between. You send your product to 10 places, you only talk to 10 organizations. That's it. You only interact with 10 people, 10 basic contacts. You want them to interact with 100,000 people in California, 200,000, 300,000? They've never done it before. Stop living in fantasy land that you have this utopia that's going to exist. It's not. If they did cut out that person, that dealership, it would be to realize all the profits of the dealership. That's exactly why they would do it.
You've worked so long in this world, dude, of like, whether it's dealing with dealerships or people or, high net worth individuals, whatever, then all of a sudden I just had this like image of you're like the guy when somebody calls into a radio station and they're like fanatics about a sports team, and this broadcaster's trying to keep it real with them. It's like, look, their pin's trash. You're living in delusional land. Like, they're not making it, past the first round if they even make it at all. And it's just like, you got to keep it real sometimes. Like, it's just fairy tale land sometimes.
And here's the thing, man. Everybody loves a boogeyman.
Yes. Oh,
they think that the dealer's the boogeyman. I had somebody send me a comment that was made on one of our posts, and I appreciate the comment where the guy's like, well, if Toyota put out this mini truck, the dealers would mark it up 200%. Buddy, there's an MSRP, and very, very tiny moments in history has a dealer ever been able to sell a car for over MSRP. And let me tell you who sets MSRP. It ain't the dealer.
Guess everybody.
Okay? So you guys want to look at the last 2, 3, 4 years and you want to say that's the market because you had Bronco at one point that could sell above MSRP. You had C8 Corvette that could sell above MSRP. By the way, if you don't buy any of the BS warranties or things in the F&I office, many of you have never paid over MSRP. Okay? You've never paid over MSRP. If you don't buy all the nonsense in the F&I office, most of you have never paid even MSRP throughout history. So where is this whole idea you're going to pay 200% markup? You guys don't know the data. Now, again, I'm not defending the dealer. They do some slimy stuff. There's some things I wouldn't do if I were them. I know a lot more than most of you. There's a lot of offshore money you guys are unaware of that get put into these Cayman Island accounts and whatnot. So, and by the way, your favorite insurance company is all wrapped up into this stuff that you guys don't know about, and there's 20, 30 million sitting offshore to a principal dealer. I get it, man. I understand frustration. But if you follow our way, simple way of doing things at the dealer, you have no reason to bitch about the dealer. Okay? If you've made a bad deal at the dealer, don't get mad at the dealer because you signed on a lot of paperwork to make that deal. And that's the fact.
You literally I didn't even finish my last sentence in my note, and that was, I think a lot of the quote unquote necessary evil came from people over the last couple of years claiming, or even not claiming, but seeing so much being sold over sticker. And you literally went into the MSRP topic, which is, I think, why a lot of people's brains are kind of fried a bit from the over, I guess, I don't know if I use predatory, but you know what I mean? Like, there's some shenanigans sometimes. We were just talking about that. Like, there's...
Well, look, and by the way, let's not forget, you had Grand Highlanders or Toyota RAV4 selling for exorbitant amount of money for about basically a 1 to 2, maybe 3 year period. Mm-hmm. Go back before COVID, they were selling below MSRP. So you can't take a snapshot of 36 months or 48 months. Again, houses were pretty cheap in 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
They're not cheap now. So the snapshot of 8, 9, and 10 is not the story of the housing market. Like, there's so many of you that are looking to point the finger at somebody instead of the person who signed the paperwork. I've never signed for a bad car deal. It just hasn't happened. So since I didn't sign for it, I didn't get a bad car deal. That's how the world works. And again, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and guess what? If you listen to this podcast, you'll never sign a bad car deal in your life again either.
No, most of you, and by the way, a lot of over MSRP stuff happened at the top end of the market, and those people didn't complain about buying at the top end of the market because they had the money. Right? They just go, I wanted the car, so I overpaid for it. I've shared the customer of mine that overpaid massively, probably by $100,000 for a Hummer EV. Okay? Guess what? He doesn't care. He's on like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 cars deep past that now. It's not even a conversation that him and I ever have after buy it, sell it, he's moved on, right? So you guys are almost complaining on behalf of people that don't even care. It's irrelevant.
So I know a lot of people are seeing videos in their feeds from, whether it's a dealership that's made it pretty big on social through their negotiation videos or whatever, just insights to how they operate their lot of cars. It could be a big dealership like Camino Real in California that does it's a Chevy dealership that does funny stuff.
Yeah, they seem to use a certain looking types of individuals. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
What is that, like Bakersfield Hyundai or whatever it's called too?
Yep. And usually their names are like Jackie or
Yeah. Hey, they do tend to have the same 15 names that go on rotation inside of a dealership.
Jennifer, the occasional Hortensia, possibly Socorro from time to time. But yeah, it's the same people, and good for them. And I actually just saw, I've been seeing more. And again, how do you take it when if you do something really well and somebody else starts doing it? Do you take offense to it? Do you be like, hey, imitation's the biggest form of flattery kind of thing? Because other dealerships are doing that. They're seeing what's working.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen some things come out of this podcast that you and I know directly from people inside the building. Like, hey, we saw what you guys were doing and we copied it. Okay. Nobody, we all need to remember something. Very few of us are just original on everything we do. We take influence from all different walks of life. You and I are big. We love MMA and we love sports and we love the comedian world. Look, man, all of these people influence us. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really get caught up in it. But again, you do want to have some originality, and some people have none.
Yeah.
Look. Look what's hit. I don't know if you even have this on a list today, but look at all the conversation around GTD because Ford started to give access to people in the automotive and journalistic world.
I didn't have it on the list. No, I wasn't too familiar with it.
You could watch 3 or 4 videos. None of it's original thought because there's not a lot to say, right? That's the other thing. Some of this stuff, there's just not a lot to say. So it could look like someone's copying someone, but it's also, guys, there's only 3 or 4 things to say. There's not 25 things to say or 100 things to say. So who cares? I just think people get way too caught up in that.
I hear you, dude. And the reason I brought that up too is because what I was going to lead into was the conversation around EVs right now. In that world of social and showing your lot and your dealership or whatever, there was the people that sold EVs for a lot of money not too long ago, a ton of money, made a lot of money, and then now they're kind of offloading them to these now other people who are like, I'll buy all the EVs. So I'm fascinated by these worlds. I don't know how much insight you have into those, but if you're the guy that sold it for well over sticker, made your money, Now you still sell them kind of, and then you don't want to deal with them anymore. You're getting out of that market. And then this other guy's like, I'll take all of them at whatever we can negotiate. How did they become not enthused anymore? I guess obviously because they sold over. And then you have this other new guy who's now enthused, whereas the original guy is no longer enthused. It's just
Well, I think a lot of dealers, especially, and I think that's who you're talking about. They know they can't move them. I mean, we have a Mercedes dealership that I have good relationships. I mean, the EQ stuff just scarred them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no movement. I mean, they literally, it was the same. It's like, I got to get this off my lot. Like, I can't be looking at it. They're talking to Mercedes directly. They're trying to find places to offload them. They're trying to get anything that they can in this world. And I completely understand that. Okay. Then there's people saying, if I can get them at the right price, I think I can turn a little $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 profit on them. It might be worth me taking the risk. What you're going to see is sort of arbitrage on the low side. A lot of times what we think is arbitrage happens. Somebody buys something for $1, they go to and sell it for $15, $20, $30, $100. Now what it's going to be is, I want to buy something for 30 grand and see if I can just eke out 35,000 for the vehicle, right? If I market it differently, if I support it differently, it's going to be interesting to watch if people can really make that happen. I mean, I don't really know.
Do you think that, because, we talked about the Rivian stuff about 2 weeks ago, that world, do you hear something outside? And we're back. Best time ever to say, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the #1 automotive-related podcast on planet Earth. We talk about markets, news, predictions, and most importantly, offer you a good hang every single Monday. So this is going to lead me into the first real story of the day, Nick, and that is, oops, our bad, we're bringing back buttons. Can you guess who just said that yesterday? I'm going to pull it up for you, but I want you to guess.
Audi.
Well, they should, but no, Mercedes.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So, oops, our bad, we're bringing out buttons. And so I read the article via Motor Trend. And because you've spent a lot of time in Mercedes, you've recently had some cool action on a Maybach that you were doing some work on. The rollers, the scrollers on the steering wheel, the buttons, the whole thing. Consumers have just said, look, we want all of that over the touchscreens. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I've never. So I think when you get into like an AMG, okay, one of the things that becomes very clear is, I think Mercedes, and I'm not blaming Mercedes, I think I've said this before, if you get in a lot of different cars, the steering wheel stuff is not as intuitive as when it's your car. And you can get used to it, you can get, a lot of time behind the wheel, you get real comfortable, but if you go from car to car to car, the steering wheel stuff is not intuitive.
Right.
I mean, because every manufacturer is doing it differently. It's almost like if everybody had a different plug that went into your outlet. So at your house, you had 27 different outlets. It would just be a mess. And I think that's kind of what the steering wheel controls have become, is because if you're in lots of cars, you realize there's no industry standard of where we put everything. So you got to relearn it. And I got to tell you, you get into anything that like has haptic on the steering wheel, to me, it's miserable.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. And again, I know Ferrari did this. People complained about it. They've gone back to a different style. I think you kind of look at this and you go, I just think when something works and it's intuitive, whatever you replace it with better be even more intuitive, and I don't think it ever has been, honestly.
No, and funny you said Audi. Audi and Volkswagen, they're kind of divided, because half of their cars and models have buttons, the other half will have the haptic, whether it's on the steering wheel or in the center console. And that's one of the reasons I said before, I don't want like the 8th generation or 8.5 generation Golf Rs, because they still have the haptic stuff. And then you go to the Audis and they got the buttons in the console, which is great, but like they haven't quite figured out that they all need to just revert back to what works and what's most recognizable to the customer. So Mercedes, or at least one of their spokesperson from the marketing department, was basically saying the consumer has spoken. But the way it was written up, they keep pushing about how, like, because of like the Chinese market or certain things, it's hard to know like where everything's kind of go. Geez, but that they feel like it's gonna swing back to that more like techie, everything over the air, less buttons eventually. But for now, they are reverting back to buttons.
Well, and let's not act like we build the exact same things for every market.
I know, right?
I mean, this is what's becoming all too common, is manufacturers are like, well, you got to understand. It's like, well, wait a minute. I mean, you don't even release the same cars
Bingo.
and SUVs into markets. Like, I get it, man. I don't want to put more onus on the manufacturer where all of a sudden they got to build all kinds of different infotainment for 58 different countries. But stop acting like you haven't done things different in almost every market for generations now. This isn't news. They want to make it news because they want to sound like, oh, woe is me. It's like, guys, there's a bunch of cars we wish we had in the U.S. that you never even bring here. So we're now going to draw the line on touchscreens. It's like that, well, you got to realize, China might want something different. It's like, well, no kidding. Like, you guys have been making different stuff for markets for generations now. This isn't news.
Yeah, do us all a favor. Please give us the RS3 hatchback in America. Come on, that's all I've been asking for since I was a kid. Please. Please.
Well, you got the M5 Touring, and it's like weighs more than a Suburban. So, be careful what you wish for, my man.
We don't want that. We don't want that. Although I did hear that the Golf R might get the 5-cylinder from the RS3 in America in the near future, in the next 2 or 3 years, which would be very awesome. But so how familiar are you with these cars? So in 2027, the GLC, I believe, is going to be what the moves, into buttons first. I'm reading it first here. There's going to be a 2026 CLA and then 2027 GLC. And that's what they were kind of referencing here in the article.
I like the GLC.
Yeah.
The CLA doesn't, I don't think that does a whole lot. The GLC is the bigger one. Mm-hmm. Yes. If I remember correctly off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. I just tend to think the GLC is just more appealing. Obviously when you get into the AMG version of that, you're talking about a pretty serious car. So when we look at this and we start to have conversations as a group and people that follow us, all of you want some semblance of buttons back. Mm-hmm. I've never heard anybody say, I'm extremely glad they've gone away from it. There's a lot of Tesla, fanboys that have a conversation about Tesla's infotainment. I get in Teslas quite a bit. It could use a couple buttons, guys. Mm-hmm. Like, putting it in drive and park, swiping on the side. Okay, it works. But again, why? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I think we all have this conversation far too often is like, when something works, just work on beautifying it, hiding it a little better, integrating it into the dash a little better. That's the moves you should make, not, wholesale changes go completely to software.
So the chairman and CEO of Mercedes-Benz Group, Ola, I believe it is, says you test it and it works beautifully, but sometimes you have to take 2 steps backwards in order to take 1 step forward. Customers say they wanted the roller back, even though the haptic controls function properly. And yeah, man, the market spoke. Like, people don't want that haptic stuff anywhere.
Yeah, and you know where it works? With a whole bunch of people at Mercedes that know how it works.
Yeah, their groups.
When you don't have 15 pounds of makeup on the steering wheel from driving it, it works really good in a sterile environment where you guys test these things. And this is where you get into these problems. For those people that don't know, they're not testing it, with wives and husbands and kids, and the car hasn't been detailed in 6 weeks and 8 weeks and 12 weeks, and the gunk is building up, and all of a sudden it's not working very well, and there's sunscreen all over it. You guys don't test it that way.
That's a very good point.
You test it in this white lab coat area and go, this works really good. Well, yeah, it doesn't work in the real world. Not consistently, intuitively, as just grabbing a volume button and going, let me turn it down a little bit.
Hey, if this was 2020, we would have had to have said brown coat area. Like, you can't be saying white coat, white glove, brown.
Well, look, you're the resident on this, but I don't know. That's.
I'm speaking for the resident here, the resident individual. I had a clip the other day that I was trying to work through of what to make, where we were talking about, I don't know if it was the Ranchero. We were making some jokes, and I was like, I just don't know how to make. I know it's funny, but I don't know how to make it to where we wouldn't get somebody to be like, hey guys, take it easy with your jokes over there.
Yeah. Well, we have you I can use you as the shield.
Exactly.
I'll be like, hey, look, don't look at me.
Exactly. You're talking about.
We have a resident on this podcast.
Exactly.
We're meeting the code standards here.
We're meeting the diversity, equity, and inclusion needed in today's world. When you're talking about Metallica and jewelry, I know how to make it funny, but I don't know if the world's going to find it as funny as we did. It is what it is. But so going forward on this, they kind of just wrap up to say that, going forward, expect all models to have hard controls that are intuitive and easy to operate alongside some haptic controls. What really got me, dude, was towards the bottom here. They said this is the future overall of everything that they have done and do. Voice commands are the future. And I've seen this a couple of times where people are putting some manufacturers keep going hard on this voice command thing. The real paradigm shift will be the reliance on voice commands. Just when I thought I couldn't hate the inside of a car more because the haptics are already so terrible, just about across the board. Can you believe everybody going all in on voice for the next decade?
I mean, this may just be me, but I'm assuming most of our audience has an iPhone.
Right.
The new Siri with Chat GPT is not good. It's not good. It's like really confused all the time. Like when you try to use it, it's like, do you want us to look that up through Chat GPT or do you want Siri to do it? It's like, well, wait a minute. I just asked the question.
Yeah, she was confused
Just give
before.
me the answer. Yeah, she was already confused. So if Apple, and this is my opinion, is not doing it really all that well, and they've been fighting the Siri battle for, I mean, you're a tech guy. I mean, are we close to, 17 years of fighting the Siri battle now?
Yeah.
20 years?
Wow. It has been that long. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you like, 2008?
Yep.
Something like that. I mean, you're 17 years in.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Doesn't feel all that much better today than when I first started using it.
That's true. And to use verbiage like the use of voice commands have tripled. And he, the Mercedes Group foresees a large-scale shift as AI revolutionizes how we react to our
You know what would be hilarious? You're sitting there. Rob's got, Enter Sandman blasting, speakers going. Then he's got to say something like, can you please turn down the AC? They have to shut the music off. Your vibe is gone. No more vibe. And it goes, you want the AC off? And it turns it off. You're in the Texas heat, no tent.
Whoa.
You just got the car, no tent. You haven't got it to the tent shop yet. You're just burning up in your S580, like a fishbowl. The thing's turning itself on and off. Then Metallica's coming back on at the elevated level. Yeah, this is what we all want, right? I mean, again, aside from just letting me hit a button that says, I want to go from 72 to 71 on my, okay. I mean, there's going to be somebody out there, let's be clear, in our audience, super techie, going to say, I don't get it, but tell me I'm wrong about the scenario I just gave. Everyone's been through it on your phone. You got Spotify playing, it's going through your house speakers, it's going through your car speakers. Somehow you're trying to get something on your phone, it turns that off to do this other task. But yeah, Mercedes is going to do it better. BMW is going to do it better. Come on, man.
How do you feel about when the settings where as you're rolling like in the car, the volume goes up with your velocity, or if you're slowing down, it slows down? Like, how do you feel about those?
Yeah, let me tell you something. That is very car specific. There's car companies that got that right, and then there's car companies you go, hey, bud, this went from 8 to 28, and the car's already pretty quiet. Like the speed, I didn't pick up all this road. It's like they think you're driving a race car. Yeah. It's like, well, now you're on the track, so we got to pump it up. It's like, no, man, I just got on the on-ramp.
Who got it right? Who got it right to Nick, and who got it really wrong?
Well, Mercedes has done it well because they do everything gradual, right? So everything in there is very gradual. So the high-end part of the market tended to do that better when it happened in your Nissan, or it happened in your Mazda, or it happened in your Toyota, or whatever car company. The car companies that don't have as much money to put into development inside those, what you'd call consumer vehicles, once you got over $100,000, those car companies go, it's pretty quiet in here. We're going to bump it up 1 or 2 notches. But you got inside of your Mazda, you floored it, and the thing goes up 27 levels, and you go, well, wait a minute.
I hate that feature, dude. Honestly, I just always turn it
it's
off.
not good. Look, you got to be in a specific, like Rolls-Royce does it really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those are the car companies that go, hey, we got the time to put into the system and go, hey, we're gonna perfect this. Mazda, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, they don't have that kind of time.
They don't. Speaking of our Mazda, so it's in the body shop. It's round 2. I had my car already fixed from the hail. Now the wife's is in there. So we have a rental. You said no tent just now, and it reminded me. We're driving, or she's driving. It's like a 24, 25 Eclipse Cross.
What, like a Mitsubishi?
It's a Mitsubishi Eclipse, but it's like the freaking whatever crossover.
I've never even been in one of those things. What's that like?
Me neither. It is, it's cozy. How about that? That's the best way to describe it. It's cozy. It's very sharp edges everywhere. My legs are constantly I constantly have to move my legs because they're getting bruised on either side.
By the way, Mitsubishi with a ton of off-road accolades in its history, and now you get in the car and you cut your leg when you go over a speed bump.
Yep.
It's like, I don't think this is your heritage here, bud.
off-road heritage, right? But and then you took the Eclipse name. We talked about this recently. Like taking a name that's so like, especially for like a millennial kind of, or you even, and you put it on
Yeah.
this thing, right? It's just
Hey,
like,
I'm a millennial, dude. Don't
no,
relax.
you're
I don't
not.
know when. Yes, I am.
No way. Wait a minute. I was working on another project. Are you not Gen? What are you? You're not Gen X?
No, 82.
Oh, my
That's
bad.
millennial.
You're
Hey, you better
right.
watch your
You're
mouth.
you're
I am the elder
You
statesman
are the elder
of the
millennial.
millennials.
Absolutely. Whoa. I thought you were 80 because that's like the cutoff for. I'm
Nah,
just okay.
you better watch yourself,
My
dude.
bad. My bad. My
Hey,
elder millennial.
I'm leading the crowd. You're beneath me, not
My
the other
elder.
way around.
My elder
I'm the
millennial.
OG
I
of the
apologize.
millennial crowd.
My elder millennial. You're absolutely right. Damn. I really thought you were Gen at this point. Because 45. Anyway, regardless, the Eclipse. It's just not. They shouldn't be selling it. It's really not a. I mean.
Yeah, we've talked about Mitsubishi. Like,
There's
you
no
talk about a
redeeming quality
brand
of
that
this
I
thing.
want to see get its act together. It's Mitsubishi,
Yeah.
right? Montero, Pajero, all of these long historied off-road vehicles that have done things. For those of you who have never looked into it, I believe Mitsubishi has won a race more times than anybody in the off-road circuit. I think they won like 6 in a row or something at one point in their history. We had the Eclipse growing up. I mean, that was in every high school parking lot that ever existed.
Yeah.
Right alongside the Mercury Cougar, for those that weren't there. Those were kind of like the battling. You either bought one or the other of those. I want to see Mitsubishi in the U.S. market come back to some of its old style. And it doesn't sound like this rental car is anywhere near where it needs to be.
No, dude, it's such a bummer. Like, and again, when you get a rental car, it's usually not like the nicest. Even though my wife's got like whatever X status of like enterprise, where she's could get better cars. There's literally no cars in South Austin apparently. Like we had to go to 3 different enterprises, and there were no cars. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you got to
Hey,
wait.
Enterprise is a wild experience. We have an Enterprise Exotic. Have you ever been to one of
Oh
those
no,
places?
I haven't.
It's like 2 seconds from my shop. I know the general manager really well. He was doing something else prior, has a different life prior in the exotic market.
Wow.
And there's just like Forerunner, what is it? The Chrysler, what's the Chrysler van called?
Oh, Pacifica.
Chrysler Pacifica. You have that, and then you have a Lambo. Then you then you have like a Malibu or whatever kind of car they got
A
going
lot of
on
Jeep
there
Compasses
now.
there.
Yeah, there you go. Jeep Compass. They big on the EVs. That you got to imagine those things are just toast.
Oof. Yeah.
So yeah, we have an Enterprise Exotic, and I tell you what, it's not that easy to rent a car these days.
No, but shout out to them. They always take care of us, whether it's her or I. So shout out to Enterprise. I've honestly never had a bad experience. They've always gone above and beyond. Even the one yesterday, like they were calling around. They even called. I probably shouldn't say this, but they called a competitor just to get us into a car because they were like, I can't believe we have no cars. They were just like looking. So they're really nice, and we ended up getting this. But
Yeah, I'll tell you this: Enterprise does still get it done.
Yes.
Right? Like sometimes you call them, they don't have anything. Vegas is a little bit of a different market because they make sure they have stuff, and they got like 200 locations inside of a 10-mile radius out here.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, they just have them like in strip malls that are like next to a sub shop, and they just have like cars delivered there. It's like, I mean, they're trying to get anybody in a rental car out here. Like, it's a tourist city. They know they got a lot of corporate conventions. They're like, we'll get you a car. You have no idea. It could have just come from Bubba's car lot. You have no idea where they got this car. No idea. But they get you a car.
So how does the exotic? Is it the same thing? Like the exotics, you just go in there and you kind of try to do the same. Hey, I want this for the day.
Yeah, it's just a bigger deposit. It's just a bigger daily rental.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. I mean, you got to carry bigger insurance. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like,
Has
it's
that always been a
literally.
thing? Has the exotics and the Enterprise? Because then you have like
Well,
the
this one's been here for forever. I mean, I don't know exactly how long, but I can't remember a time it wasn't here. But they kind of got drowned out. We have big exotic rental car
That's what I was
companies
gonna
here,
say. Right.
That kind of drown them out. But look, that's turned into a really tough business. If you've never, looked at the stolen exotic cars, a lot of that stuff's going on at exotic rentals. Once they kind of have your car as a rental car company, you got really, I mean, it's not like you can just call the cops and say, hey, this thing is stolen. And by the time you can say that, they're usually 5 states away, and that thing's on a truck.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and in a shipping container very quickly. I mean, that's turned into a very tough market. And actually, I know some people that have owned those car companies here in town, and many of them have sold. Many of the original OGs have just said, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I used to see a lot more of it. I mean, you go back 10 or so years, a lot of more of the exotic car rental because of social, obviously, but also because it just seemed like such a great business to be in at the time, right? There was.
Well, I'll give you what the top business was, and you definitely remember these times since you're also a millennial.
This is true.
And you tried to put me somewhere where I don't belong.
Apologies.
They used to kill it on rap video rentals.
Yeah.
Those original like OGs in the exotic car rental world, like Atlanta, Vegas, Miami, Los Angeles, they used to kill it like putting 10 cars in a rap video and all that kind of stuff. Like there was real money being made back then.
Oh yeah, don't sleep on Houston. I know some people.
Oh yeah, Houston. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they love them some.
But they had to put swangers. They had to put
100%.
swangers on there.
Gotta make sure the elbows are on there. You gotta mix and match, right? You might have like the exotic over here, but on this side you got like the corner of like Paul Wall's.
Yeah, you got some slabs.
100%.
Yeah, I'm in on slabs.
I mean, that's gonna be the title of the podcast. I'm in on slabs.
100%. Like,
Couple
dude, there's this one account I follow on TikTok that all they do is like big old Cadillacs.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that's all they do.
That's all they show. It's like they go to these like Cadillac car shows, many of them in the Houston, Texas area, obviously.
Sure.
I'm totally in. It's like I'm in on donks. I love watching that content.
No, you're not.
I don't care what anybody. I love it. I mean, look, I'm not going to build one,
Sure.
but I think it's cool they got them.
You say that now.
What if you just came to my shop and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm building this donk and this slab? That'd be off the hook.
I'm also not. Yeah, I don't put that past you. To tell you the truth, if people don't know this by now, Nick could very well go to sleep tonight, wake up tomorrow, and be like, you know what? I thought about what I said yesterday. I think I'm going to do that.
I think I'm going to get me an old Eldorado and pimp this thing out.
And then you know what? Not only would he do it, he would put all his time and attention on this one thing that all of a sudden he wants to do.
100%. For people that don't know, Rob gets a behind-the-scenes look of, this is what I want to do right this second. We're going to do it.
We're getting it done. Speaking of what you did recently, let's get a little bit of a sports corner here real quick, just to get your feedback on the Canelo fight, because I know you're a huge boxing fan. You witnessed it just like I did. What are your thoughts?
Probably the coolest thing I've seen in person. And, I went to Mayweather McGregor. I've been to name every type of fight. I've been to it. Going back to Rich Franklin and Anderson Silva, big title fights, big names. We saw history. You don't see a guy just cruise up 2 weights and put on a dominant performance. And then you had good undercards, although that all went too long. That's a real boxing issue, is that they got to figure out how to make those I think some people on the East Coast, weren't you guys up till like 3 o'clock? I mean, I know you're not on the East Coast, but our listeners, weren't some of those guys up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to try to catch the fight?
Yeah, I think by the time it was all said and done, it was probably 1:30, I think, here, something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I didn't even get out of the stadium until about that time here.
Oh, dang.
It was, I had some other obligations and some people to talk to and things like that. But, for those of you guys that are into this thing, I've hung on with boxing when nobody was watching it. Literally, and many of you don't watch it.
True.
But, look, you saw Fernando Vargas's kid, which I think is cool. He went to a high school here, I believe. Seeing stuff like that, man, and for those that don't follow boxing, and I get why you don't. It's been a complete mess my whole life, and long before my life, watching it. But I can't put into words like what that was like. You just saw somebody who shouldn't have done what they did, and they did it in a dominant performance. And I saw Crawford knock out Postal with a body shot. That's how far. I go back with him here locally, where I actually was at that fight. I was 2 rows off the ring. I heard the body shot. It sounded like somebody got killed. Because if you've never heard somebody fall down from a body shot, it's a real distinct noise.
Yeah.
I just think, look, man, he's going to get his due. And there's going to be, I got it on pretty good authority. You guys can probably expect a rematch. There's a lot of money in a rematch. Absolutely. I would assume we're going to see a rematch. I don't know if there's a clause or not, but, guys like that don't leave a lot of money on the table.
Yeah.
But if he went away, he's the fighter of this era.
I think we could all say also Canelo did not look like primetime Canelo?
Well, I mean, that Mexican beef, quote unquote, does not help your boxing skill, right? Canelo fights one simple way. If he's not going to land body shots, he's one of the rare fighters that hits you in the arm. So for people that don't know, like that's like part of his tactic. One of the things that I will say is that he's had an impressive career. He started very young. It's cool to see. I don't really think he's developed boxing. I think he's developed power and certain types of boxing. But when you don't throw a jab against a guy like Crawford, it's going to be pretty tough to win.
Tough, man. Just the looping shots and then just the haymaker kind of approach did not.
Once you could see it in person, once he caught Crawford and Crawford smiled that first time, I was like, oh yeah.
I was sitting on the couch, dude. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, leading up to before I saw that smile, I was like, okay, starting to slow, right? Crawford's gonna do his thing. He's a faster fighter. And then I saw that, and I'm like, oh man, this is over. This is over.
Yeah, 100%. If you've watched enough fights, when your superpower is literally catching someone, Deontay Wilder's this kind of guy, right?
Right.
You catch somebody and you hurt them, or they don't, they look like, hey, you stunned me. You go, okay, power's going to be a part of this. When he caught him that first time and your boy smiled, I go, uh-oh.
Ugh.
That's your superpower. You better learn a jab really quickly.
You get this pit in your stomach. You're like, oh no, oh god, I feel bad for the guy.
But look, I will say this, man: 70,000 plus in the building.
Dang, sounds like
if you've never been to an event like that, it's pretty incredible. And look, man, I'm happy for the guy. I mean, I really am. I mean, I watched this guy from the very beginning. Went to a couple of his fights. Like I said, I saw him just body shot Postal to what I thought was death.
Yeah.
What a cool thing, man. And for those types of people, I'm always happy. Seems like a good dude. Don't know him, obviously. I got to imagine he's getting a lot of investment advice from Warren Buffett, since he's like right down the street. So I would hope he's just going to have lots of money forever because Warren Buffett's like, hey, we got you.
That's the
just give me
podcast
some
I want to hear right there. That's the podcast I want to hear.
What's your investment advice to Terrence Crawford?
So speaking about the last thing on that, we'll get back to cars. I'm aware how big this show has gotten here over the last 10 months. So, a lot of this is jokes. A lot of it is not from Nick. It's from me. Just curious. Your thoughts on Max Kellerman doing the whole thing?
Love that dude.
Really? Okay.
Love him. Yeah, no, I didn't get to listen to it. I'm going to go back this weekend. I got some free time. I'm going to watch the telecast.
Yeah.
I would say the problem that I bet I'm going to see, Andre Ward probably shouldn't be in that booth. The
dynamic just was a little strange all across the board, man. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I don't feel like Andre Ward's all that interesting, but Max Kellerman, for those who don't know, he's like a Mensa level boxing savant as far as like recalling the history of boxing and who fought what style, and I just tend to like him. I think he's kind of a unique guy. I don't think he's for everybody. I can see why people don't like him though.
So leading up to it, you got to go to X, be like, what are people saying about this right now? And people are like, oh my God, Max Kellerman back in the boxing, like it's great, blah, blah, blah. At the end of it, I was like, let me go back to this, see what people are saying. And they were not kind to your boy. He was having a bit of an off night. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I think he talks a lot. He talks a lot. He probably talks over people a little too much. But look, man, he's like a true savant. Like he is the, how Bob Costas is with baseball?
Yes.
If everybody's ever listened to Bob Costas, he's like this insane historian on baseball. Yeah. Horrible to listen to if you're not into baseball because you're like, hey man, just show me guys hitting it out of the park. Okay, I'm not a big baseball guy, but it's like I just want to see guys hitting bombs. Max Kellerman's kind of like that. Obviously more interesting than Bob Costas, a little bit more animated than Bob Costas, but he's that level of historian. But I've always understood why some people didn't like him. I mean, I see both sides of it.
Real quick, I got to ask, Joe Buck?
Hey, Joe Buck's good. Joe Buck's good.
Joe Buck's good?
Yeah, Joe Buck's good.
There's a lot of hate.
There's a lot of hate, but watch games without Joe Buck, especially baseball games.
Yeah.
Joe Buck is good at what he does. So whether you like him or not is irrelevant.
I agree, dude. In the postseason, you got to have Joe Buck's voice in there.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Monday Night Football. Is he all right on Monday Night Football?
That's a good question. Texans just played Bucks, and I should have watched it, but I didn't, and I'm not sure. Yeah. But I feel like he's got to be good. Like, it's just he's one of those quintessential voices of, sports broadcasting.
He's like Jim Nantz.
Exactly.
How can you hate Jim Nance? Like Jim Nance is just good.
Yeah, man. We've lived through some really cool eras of sports commentary and just
I
personalities.
mean, the all-time football guy to me is Gus Johnson.
I thought you were going to
I
say
love
Joe
listening to
Madden.
that dude get hype. That dude gets so hype about everything. He's
I
like,
love
"Oh,
it.
that's a first down." It's like,
Dude, I love it.
relax, dude. It's like 3 minutes in the first quarter, my guy. But I love it. It's
3
different.
minutes into the first quarter. I do like, dude, that would be me. If I ever was a broadcaster, I'd be way too hyped for the entire game. By the end of it, I would just collapse from exhaustion because I hyped up
100%.
every minute of the game.
Hey, did you ever hear the Al Michaels stories? Because
No.
Al Michaels is like a
That's
legend.
another
You know,
one.
he's never eaten a vegetable.
What?
Like he's never eaten like a green vegetable. Like he
That's
just it's like so in the middle of the game they bring him like I realize a potato is a vegetable, but it's like steak and potato
Yeah.
is what he eats at halftime, and there's like no green allowed on his plate.
Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of in that world myself. You know what? Like, I get enough fiber. Like, I don't care about your greens.
Yeah.
All right, your
Hey,
micro greens.
I'm not gonna eat this cauliflower. Get this off my plate.
I hate cauliflower, by the way. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. And by the way, when you cook it in your house, it's even worse.
Gross. Yeah. Don't try to smoke cabbage or whatever the hell my wife wants to do. I'm like,
Can I just have a steak?
yeah, don't heat that
Hey,
shit
are
up
you one of
again.
those guys that just eats off the cutting board, which is now the thing if you don't eat off your cutting board?
I mean, if I don't put jalapenos next to my steak as I'm cutting it on the cutting board, did I even do it right? You know?
You just go full Joe Rogan. Look at my elk steak and my jalapeno.
I don't care, guys. I think it's cool. I'll do it. I know everybody likes to roast people, but it is good. Actually, yeah, I end up eating more on the cutting board than I ever put on the plate. And then my wife's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Sorry, I was just kind of eating as I was cutting. I'm not hungry anymore."
What a team player.
Yeah, it is what it is. Look, after 70 years, dude, Ford is going to demolish the iconic Glass House Global HQ. Did you know this?
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, so it's been in the works for a little while, but I think the official date of it, because they're making a new HQ in Dearborn. So this
By
was
the
an
way, if you were actually going to make a new HQ, wouldn't you move out of Dearborn? No offense to our Dearborn listeners.
That's a very good point, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and concur with that. I think you're right. This was let's see, 70 years ago, right? I wanted to get the size of this just for context. So in 1956, the Glass House rang at 950,000 square feet.
Damn.
As you scroll down, this is a new one, by the way. They haven't done the. My people haven't gone out there to do any of the shrubbery.
Why does that look like an embassy in the Middle East? Like, what do they think's going on over there?
You know what? It is 2.1 million square feet.
Can you imagine being like, hey, so we got to build a new HQ. How many feet? I don't know, 3 mil? Nah, let's go with 2.
Let's go with 2.1.
I mean, by the way, people that think car companies are always in trouble, this is why people want to own car companies.
This is why we're
because
here.
they literally just like drop money. It is, and again, there is so much interesting financing and publicly traded stuff, but you want to know why billionaires buy up these like old Aston Martin as an example. You go, oh, there's no value there. There's value somewhere.
Dude.
Because they can throw up 1 million square feet and be like, I mean, who can just throw up 2.1 million square feet?
Listen to this. This will fit up to 4,000 people in the new studio. Garages, fabrication shops with building design, be a net zero energy facility as well. Water saving, waste reduction.
I was wondering about that. I'm glad.
Yeah, exactly. I read this when I read it. I was like, yeah, me too. I'm so glad you're doing that. It's going to be located within walking distance of 14,000 employees at Ford's research and engineering trackside testing facilities.
Damn.
The new campus will be complete in 2027, while the new headquarters will open in November. Of course, you got to have the GTD right there in the front, like the cool shot.
Hey, I think it's pretty cool on the GTD. You can see the rear suspension through that like clear like glass plexiglass,
yes,
whatever.
yes.
I think it's pretty cool.
I think that's super cool.
That is super cool.
I know of a Fox body that has the same setup, but I mean, yeah, it's cool in this GTD as well. It's $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, look, what's $500,000 worth, between friends?
Dude, so I thought that was really interesting. And by the way, the old one, the 950,000 square feet, 70,000 square feet of that was just lobby space.
Hey, we need you to sit here and have a coffee while you wait for our executive.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people you got waiting for executives? That's a lot of feet.
I mean, it was 12 floors. The new one's only going to be 4 floors, if you can believe it or not.
I'm still going to ask, why does it look like it's in Beirut? Like, what do they
Because a lot of those people are buried under the building. They built this building. In case you
Hey,
didn't know.
check out our new HQ. It looks like we just put this up in Tehran.
Tim Dillon will be performing here next week, by the way.
Hey, did your boy get thrown out?
It's what he said. I don't know if you can take it seriously these days.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but funny stuff. I've said it before. I'll criticize Tim, but he's still my spirit animal. He's my big gay spirit animal. That
Hey, dude,
guy's
he's funny, man.
he's
He's
so
a funny
funny.
dude.
Oh, one day we'll run into Tim Dillon, or I'll run into Tim Dillon in Austin. And be like, hey, you want to do a car podcast? Talk about those Maybachs that you bought and the Rolls Royces that you bought that you hated and just gave
You
back.
better invite me. You'd be like, oh, I just did this off the cuff thing with Tim Dillon. That'd be the day this fucking thing dies.
Good times. So yeah, we can expect. So speaking of that, I just showed you that we read what it looks like, the space and everything. How can you realistically, without making fun of the world of car manufacturers, put into the regular person's mind that these people know what they're doing, right? They know how to
Yeah.
operate, the manufacturing side and their dealership groups. And you had a sentence. Can you remember it from a while back where you said that the dealer networks are one of the most like sophisticated and well thought
Yeah,
out
distribution networks
distribution
ever.
networks ever created, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's super efficient.
So
For all of
understanding
that, it is what it is.
and understanding that, right, is what really separates somebody who got a good deal or enjoyed their purchase and enjoyed their car and those that don't know how it works.
Yeah, and again, our whole philosophy is don't get mad about it, understand it, and then you won't have any problems, right?
Yes.
So when you keep looking at these as separate entities and not one entity distributing a car to you in a local market, you get very frustrated. And I understand that. We got to keep repeating. I understand why people have a sour taste. Really simply, if you don't purchase a lot of the nonsense, you don't have a sour taste. You just go,
Correct.
I'm going in there to purchase a car. Just like you walk into a Walmart. You walk into a Walmart, you say, hey, I need this storage bin for my garage. You pick it up. You don't go and buy extra warranties on the storage bin. You don't, you just treat it just like you would going to a Costco, a Sam's Club, a Walmart, a Target. Then you start to realize it's just a distribution. It's like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. It's just a distribution network to go pick up a Milwaukee tool, except you're buying a car. You don't have to get all flustered. And guess what? If you don't like the price, you leave.
Yeah.
You don't sign the paperwork. It's a pretty simplistic thing that I think because people are so like anxious and, you don't understand. It's like, no, I do understand. I understand. We're telling you how to do it so you don't have a bad experience.
Yeah, you got to leave because unlike Costco, you can't just take a bite of something, go back and say these Kirkland bars are crap.
Hey,
These are
hey,
shit.
these grapes suck. Can you take this half the bag back? And they're like, sure.
Have you ever done that?
No, I'm not. No, I don't do any of that.
Listen,
Look,
listen. I know you. I knew that was going to be a response, but I got to get that. I got to tee you up for that because I've also never done that. But my kids wanted something, and I was like, next time I'm there, I'll get it. Even though I knew like this probably isn't going to be good, and you're not going to like it. And I told them that, and I was like, you're not going to like it. Like, come on, which one want to try? Like, all right. But after they kept asking, I got it, brought it, one bite each of them. This is terrible. I said, I told you, but you wanted them, right? So I said, we're going back and we're returning this, and you're telling them that these weren't good because I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, this is bad.
you
So
made your kids the bad guy.
I
You're
made the
like, hey,
kids.
you're gonna be the bad guy
Yeah.
with Louise at the front desk. You're not
Yes.
gonna hurt my name in
Yes.
this. In
You
this
tell Miss Lauren, her name is Lauren.
Costco.
She's an old lady, white hair. I was like, you tell her. I don't want to be the person to say this was bad because I hate taking half a bag of anything and going return.
I'm telling you, if people have never, so we just had a brand new Costco like 2 minutes from my house that got built. The first day there that it was open, if you've never witnessed that, I don't know. We got 5 or 6 Costco's in Vegas.
Yeah.
No idea why you have to drive from all over to go to the new Costco, but boy, that's a thing. That is a thing.
Well, this might end the podcast here, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's funny. My sister-in-law loves going to like new things that are opening up, and that when they opened up in Central Texas, she was like, "You want to go?" I was like, "I had nothing to do that day. I hadn't seen my nieces in a while."
Yep, that might end the podcast. If you taste samples and you just told me that, it's a wrap. I don't.
Listen.
You people that taste samples, I have no idea what you're doing. No idea.
Wait a minute. You've never been a guy to just want to sample something?
No. Absolutely not. Dude, I'm real, like buffets, wedding buffets here in Vegas. No, I'm not doing.
I can understand the buffet and the cafeteria style. I'm sure you're not a big Luby's guy, or Golden Corral guy. I wouldn't take it.
No, that has, but I mean, look, I didn't always have a lot of money. It would have been smart for me to be one of those guys at one point. Trust me.
You could, yeah, that would have fed you just going through Costco or Sam's Club. I don't need to buy food, just eat off that.
Yeah, no, I have a very weird thing about it. I just judge people. I go, people are breathing, touching.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Like,
So fun.
I'll take the risk for $12.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm a simple kind of man. I'm not the aristocrat on the show here, clearly. So
Oh, that's crazy. So you're
listen,
like, hey, I've never tasted an almond. Can you hand me that one?
no, no, no,
It's like,
no. Listen, if they're yogurt covered and they suck, I'm gonna be pissed because I love almonds. I want it to be good. So what I'll do is if I see it coming out of the out of the bag, box, the little air fryer they have there, then I'll try it. But if it's been sitting there and I didn't see you take it out of the machine, I won't try it.
I mean, you have some respect. I'll give you
Thank
that.
you.
That's a middle.
Thank
That's
you.
a middle ground, but that is still not acceptable.
Okay, well, I try to be middle of the ground, and you still didn't. You didn't welcome it. So it is what it is. I'll never tell
I'm
you
just
a secret.
the middle of the country just getting blocked out again.
Jeez, bunch of haters on this show. If I were to say, Nick, what is something that Hyundai could add to their lineup in North America that would help them or be useful to the consumer? What do you think it would be?
Well, not have a recall like I think they did this week,
Listen,
but it's going to have to be like a smaller crossover that's pretty cheap. I mean, I
okay.
think again even cheaper. That
What
would be my
about
assessment.
a 2030 midsize pickup truck?
What am I looking at?
I'm looking at you. I don't know what you're looking
Hey, what's on the top of the fenders?
at. Lego pieces.
Everybody's been telling me, Hyundai's really nailing design. This one might need some work.
So at Hyundai's annual CEO Investor Day, it's where they kind of announce like roadmaps for the company, and this is what the next few years looks like as far as truck for Hyundai in North America. The idea is to have it by 2030 for sale by 2030.
Well, yeah, why not? Let's bring it up in 2020 and let you know. Hey, by 2037, we might have this midsize pickup truck for you.
As we talk about these things, the days get further out. We keep saying like, "Hey, do it in like a 6 month, 12 month thing." Nah, 5 years, 6 years.
Oh yeah. No, they'll do whatever they want, whatever they think is acceptable in that specific. But hey, it looks better from that angle.
It does look better from that angle, but it really looks like, man, we want to make a Jeep Gladiator, but how can we make it look
Oh,
like
that's
it'll
such a
break
good call.
in 7 days?
It's like a broke Grenadier.
I
Like
sent you a
what?
picture of that Grenadier I saw. This is exactly what it looks like, but if it came from Temu.
The Temu Grenadier. Well, we just named your car Hyundai. Call it the Temu Grenadier.
Well,
You kind of called it. They're in a weird spot where that looks like Gladiator a little too much. Now, let's be clear. I think we're talking. This is probably not final design. We're still in the concept phases.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of plastic, man. That's a lot of plastic. And again, I don't think that's ever really played well, right? Like that much plastic, and they got that. The top of those fenders are wild.
Yeah, good thing that Nick manufactures a trim care kit over at hybridclean.com
Yeah,
because you are going to need it on this.
You will definitely need it. But I mean, you nailed it. This would be something if priced right. Again, I don't know how much traction it would get year one, year two, but if it's dependable, let's say it's in that $32,000 range. Do I see people buying it? Yeah, man, because I think people are just kind of sick and tired of the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 world on these trucks.
Yeah, so you look at a 2.5 liter turbocharged i4 with an 8-speed automatic, and I like how they kind of allude to a possible 2.2 turbo diesel that would make fans salivate. Unlikely, but I like how they include there anyway because you never know. I mean, it's 5 years from now. What's going to happen in 5 years?
Yeah, and I think for all the grief I've given Hyundai for the fake luxury Genesis brand, this is more on par with something they need to do. So let's give them credit.
Yeah.
Now, whether you see it by 2046, I don't know. But this is definitely something.
I love how they exaggerate, and then you always take it a step further. 2046, yeah. They said 2030.
Well, I mean, look, we think about how many cars and trucks in our life, they're like, hey, we're 2 years away from being 75 years away. So, I mean, it's like I gotta be realistic with the fans out there and let you know this sounds good by 2030, but like you just referenced, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things.
A lot of things. All right. We're going to land the plane with a listener question here, which, by the way, clutchculturepodcast@gmail.com if you want to submit an email. We've I went through it, and I think we've gone through most of them that were like show-worthy type of conversations, not just like stories for Nick and I to read. So, do you have any comments, Nick, before I read this last email for you? Anything people can look forward to? Are we releasing some Lexus content here pretty soon? Maybe.
Yeah, so we're finalizing the editing and voiceover and introduction for the sound system. We have a huge project that got put on the table this week for some interior work, and we're gonna bit by bit by bit. Anybody out there that's listening that knows off-road companies, off-road owners, we are trying to partner with people and use it as a way for them to display what they do for these types of platforms, right? It's not just a sponsorship type of thing. It's like we want to tell the story of how to do the work right, how to do the work on a high level. So if you guys listening and you're in the off-road community and you know owners of bumper companies and wheel and tire companies or suspension companies, like we're actively putting deals together to bring that to you.
All right, so again, that was clutchculturepodcast@gmail.com. So Jason wrote in. This was from 2 Fridays ago, so we're getting to it now, Jason. Appreciate you writing in. This was when we were talking about the car collections and of like our parents and handing us stuff down. So
Yep.
his dad has an eclectic car collection: 2 GMBs, 1 GMB GT, a Super Beetle convertible, and a Sunbeam Tiger. I don't know if I know what that is. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Let me
Okay.
tell you, that is very eclectic.
Yeah. He keeps him reasonably maintained. He's given 76. He's 76 years old and still works. I've told him a number of times that I don't have interest in inheriting them. The only reason is while I love to admire them, I don't really have the room or the passion to maintain these particular vehicles for the long haul. Any more insight on something that's like that? If you were to inherit a collection like this, I mean, what do you think you would do or say as it was coming around to it?
Well, usually when you inherit them, somebody's gone. So I don't think you're having a lot of, in-person conversations
Sure.
anymore. It's just going to go to auction. I'm going to try to sell them. And this is the thing when people don't live in the real world that talk about the future of muscle cars, the future of cars generations before you were really, an enthusiast, right? It wasn't during your era.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even for somebody like me, I was born in the 80s. There's not a ton of 80s cars that speak to me because I really wasn't of age to get into them, right? So, I mean, that's just kind of how it happens historically. And I would say this, like, that's why I spoke to a dealer in the Midwest who's very big into classics.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation in their building, and they've been into classics, I mean, I think they've been open 40 plus years. He's very aware we're going to see a downturn here. And this is what this guy does for a living. This is not Nick's words. His words are, yeah, I mean, we're already starting to see some people pass and I'm getting good deals on inventory because, sons and daughters are just liquidating their cars. That's just the reality of this, man. Like we deal with car collections every day. I can tell you that some of those people are in their 50s and 60s already talking to their sons and daughters who are now, in their 20s or 30s. Those kids aren't, and these are some great car collections. Those kids have no interest,
Yeah.
right? Like we have real life experience, not only from dealers that I know that are in the classic market to now. I mean, I got some stuff where we have a huge Porsche collection, huge Ferrari collection, multiple Ferrari collections, Lambo guys. Their kids are not interested. Their kids, matter of fact, don't even drive the cars that are actually more recent. Let's say it's a 2010 Lambo of some kind. You got a kid that's like 25 years old. He doesn't even want to buy that because he's like, well, what's the new McLaren? What's the new? I mean, that's the age that he's at.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying they can't get into it, but I think everybody needs to take a step back and go, this is what happens with every generation. This generation is going to be no different. And we're in that I'm talking about a 10, 20, 30 year age gap. Some of you are 20 right now. Some of you are 45 and your parents are still alive. You're 50, maybe your parents are still alive. You don't want their cars.
Yeah.
I'm not saying some of them you might want, right? Some of you guys may have dreamed of having your dad's Camaro or your dad's Chevelle or whatever, but the vast majority have not dreamed that. That's just not what's happening.
He goes on to say in the next section, finding a fun project car, and this is what I thought was really interesting as well. This really hit home, the whole conversation. I always wanted a second-gen Lightning, and I was already looking at him before this email came in, so it's funny that this is what he wrote in. In 2016, he searched for one and found one that most people had turned their noses up to, and in the time where the great examples were going for 15 to 20, which by the way, I wish they were going for 15 grand now.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yep.
He bought
Yep.
a 99 second gen with 75,000 miles for $12,000.
Bravo.
Bro, I mean,
Bravo.
incredible. Unfortunately, he had to sell it in a divorce. Jason, I don't mean to laugh,
Yeah.
but
Hey,
it's unfortunate.
we hear you, dog.
We hear you, dude, and we feel for you. Long story short, he's going to be looking for another fun car in the near future. Ended up selling it in the massive divorce in 2020 for $20K, so he ended up breaking about even. But man, does he miss that truck? I've been looking at those, dude. I don't even care about low miles. I know that you work with a lot of people that love the low miles conversation, but there is a 4,000 mile 99 or 2,000 red as well, which is the only one I'm looking for. It's $63,000.
Whoa. Well,
Yeah.
so let's walk through this guy's situation. If you ask me what I would do in this guy's situation, he's got a car or he's got a truck he wants back. Let's just invent a story here
Sure.
to how this is going to play out. You go, hey, my dad has passed. The cars are mine. If I liquidate all of these, I can get the car that I've always wanted.
That's true.
There's where people don't realize this goes, which is most of the time we've got into liquidation situations. We have had some divorce situations, and actually a big one in Houston was the Porsche White Collection. We weren't involved in that, but there's a perfect example of like, hey, you're going to sell this really rare collection, which was right down by the stadium, by the way, the Astro Stadium. So what would happen in the reason I say that the minute most kids don't want their parents' collectibles and cars, they sell them, or what they should do is sell them, realize the gains, and then go buy the things you want. To me, that's a great steward of all of this.
Yeah.
The sad ones the ones that make me the most sad is when they sell or liquidate a car collection and then it doesn't go back into a car that they want. Right. And again, I think you got to look at it from the real angle. The guys that were into muscle cars, and that's when they came of age, they didn't want the stuff their parents owned. And it went on and on and on since then. It's going to replay itself now. But the thing that I would always tell people to do, and I've been in this situation a lot, unfortunately, through my business, liquidate what you don't want, and let's take that money and let's buy something you really want. That way now you basically have gotten into quote unquote a dream vehicle, multiple dream vehicles, depends on how much money the collection is. And you've you have kept alive your parents' love for cars.
The enthusiasm.
Right? You've just done it your way. And I don't find too many parents, like aging parents, that are against that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know a lot of dads that I've been involved with that, they've gotten a bad diagnosis or they've went a little earlier and we've had to sit down with kids, sons. And I go, well, what if we do this? And the dad's pretty happy. He's like, hey, man, I want him to own. I want him to keep this going. I want him to be into cars. It was our connection. So I think people need to realize that the good parents out there, they know you're not into their stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you can take their stuff and turn it into something that you can kind of carry on what is that part of enthusiasm, I think it's a good balance. I don't get people get way emotional about this. And you go, look, if you really talk to people, your dad knows he bought it because he liked it. I mean, he knows that. He's not an idiot. Like, he's like, yeah, I liked it. And then if you go, hey, Dad, I can take your car and I really want to buy this truck, this Ford Lightning. It's the one I want to get away. I think your dad's going to be pretty excited. Like, because he helped you get your thing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you guys need to be scared about these conversations because I've had to have them with family members, not my family members, but inside people's families. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. But for all you guys that think that we're not going to see a huge dip in these older collectibles, you just have never looked at the market.
All right, I love it. Good perspective, Jason. I hope your dad's a reasonable guy, because I don't know if mine.
Oh, he'll definitely. Your dad look. When you have an eclectic car collection, it seems like you're a pretty cool guy. You'll be all right.
It's good. That's a good point. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't know about mine, but we'll see. I don't want those Jeeps.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm joking.
it'll all work out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, dude, that was a great episode. Everybody, clutchculturepodcast@gmail.com if you want to send in your stories, your insights, your topics of any sort, or just something funny to maybe, make Nick laugh or make him mad and tell him how great buffets are. I don't know, whatever you want to email us.
You do your thing. You do it your way.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
See you guys.